Ladies and gentlemen, Foreskin Face Fauci has been in the news a lot. Yes, I know that's an infantile name, but he's got a head like a walnut with a face drawn on it, so that's what I'm calling him. And he's been in the news a lot lately, saying, follow the science, follow the science. Well, I'm here to ask a question of you. When is science not science? Do you know? It's when commie activists make the science. Do you remember this fine organisation? TED Conferences LLC? It's a famous non-profit that used to post great lectures online with excellent speakers who'd typically talk about interesting concepts backed up with science and data. And when I was a young lad, I used to lap them up. But look what it's turned into. Now we live in a world of woke. Obesity is a disease, not a personal failing or weakness. And this researcher has found a hormone that may be able to treat it. It's a disease that makes you inexplicably develop Battenberg crumbs all over the front of your clothes and all around your fat face. Myth 1. Women are biologically less interested in casual sex. Is that a myth, is it? The irony being, when I seen Richard Dawkins talking to Ted about 15 years ago, when it used to be actual science and logic, that got me into him, and I bought his books, and I read them, and that's why I know that is total, utter bollocks. Women are less interested in casual sex because death in childbirth was rather common. Women pay a very large price for sex that men don't. There is almost no risk to men and there is lots of risk to women. In fact, considering how dangerous getting pregnant was a few thousand years ago, I'm amazed women don't see a cock and go, huh, like you've just pulled a tarantula out your trousers. So that's nonsense. It's not a myth, it's a fact. Proven by evolutionary biology. Myth 2. Monogamous sex is better and safer, and monogamous people have better relationships. Better, debatable. Safer, safer. Are you really going to tell me that having sex with random strangers routinely is safer than having sex with the same person all the time? Really? Are you a lunatic? Do you think going down the docks and getting rinsed by random sailors is as risk-free as having sex in the missionary position with the same boring bastard you've been sleeping with for the last 8 years? Give your head a shake. Here's another obvious fact. If you haven't got AIDS, and I haven't got AIDS, and we only shag each other for 10 years, even if I'm going bareback in your dirt box, guess what? It's impossible to get AIDS. You can't say the same thing for casual sex with strangers, so you don't know what you're talking about. You are a liar, attempting to spread total nonsense because you want to make everybody fat, riddled, and depressed. Right, you don't want people in happy monogamous relationships. You want them out, getting bummed senseless, catching the monkeypox, and being fucking miserable. Just be honest about it. Science doesn't come into it. Your warped ideology does. Myth 3. Sex is immoral and dangerous. Well, the only people who think it's immoral are the people on the fringes. And as for the dangerous part, yes, it's not dangerous the way normal people have sex, but it's pretty dangerous the way you pill-popping sexual deviant freaks do it, isn't it? Let's look at a few more, shall we? I'm on a roll. These remarks may seem harmless, but they are actually rooted in racism. Microaggressions. If they seem harmless, and the person saying them thinks they're harmless, and the person hearing them thinks they're harmless, what do we need to worry about it for? Why don't you just shut up? If you need to write a 7-page thesis about why something's harmless, or else nobody will notice that it's harmless, who cares? Why don't you do something useful with your life instead of writing bollocks? Intersex people are thought to make up 1.7% of the population, so why haven't you heard of us? Oh, we've heard of you. We've heard of you. You know why we've heard of you? Because you don't shut the fuck up. I cannot move for intersex people. I've got intersex people coming out of my arsehole. Oh, that sounded a lot worse than I meant it to. They're everywhere. We do know about you. Everything these guys say is a misrepresentation of reality. We have heard about you. We're sick of hearing about you. We're sick of talking about you. Get on with your life. Get a hobby. Do something useful. This superhero ditches the myth of having to be tough and go it alone, and instead embraces a courageous blend of softness, vulnerability, and strength. The story of Marvel's first queer Latina superhero. Presented by morbidly obese Mexican Harry Potter with a skinhead woman. It's just total bollocks. So listen, Red Ted is what it shall forever be dubbed by the Bootneck from now on. Even science itself has been perverted by the woke ideology because it consumes everything in its path. If anybody ever says to you, follow the science, be sure to check that there isn't two sides to that story, because these people are talking absolute gibberish. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you all very soon. Cheers.